Hi, this is Elizabeth Pampalone with Absolute Marketing. Today I'm going to teach you how to create 1 year of marketing content in 5 days. Just 5 days. That sounds incredible, but guess what? It's all true, and we do this all the time here at Absolute Marketing. So I'm going to show you how we do that and give you some tips so that you can do this on your own. Like I said, my name is Elizabeth Pampalone, and I am the founder and owner of Absolute Marketing. We've been in a marketing firm for 15 years, and it has been quite the ride. I've owned several companies in that time period. I have taught over 40,000 students this method, and also countless others we have helped with their marketing, and they have become clients. So if you'd like to check out our website, it's getabsolutemarketing.com, where you can see some of our success stories. So first things first, when we talk about marketing and when I talk about marketing content, I actually mean there are 5 pillars. And this really sets up one pillar for each day, which makes it super simple. So if you have a pen and paper, we're going to write these down and get them all laid out so that you can see this visually. I really believe that seeing something visually that you've written down yourself so helps you to remember it, not number one, and number two, to solidify it in your mind as a picture. So I could put up a ton of slides, but I'd prefer for you to write it so you get that visual that's that way, and you get that connection to the thing in your brain that says, hey, I wrote that down one time. And then also having that thing that says, I remember this as a picture. Some people have photographic memories, so this helps that in that way as well. So first thing we're going to write down is branding. That's actually day one. And when we create a brand on day one, what I do with my clients is I like to help them to discover who they are as a brand. And by that I mean we really want to hone in on who are you, what do you do, and who do you serve. So if we know those 3 things, who are you? Like, what are you like internally? Are you loyal? Are you customer service focused? Are you innovative? Like, what are those adjectives that really describe you as a person? And then we talk about what is the business and what does it do? So what are those adjectives that describe that business? Is it a loyal business to its customers? Is it innovative? Does it focus on customer service? And if those same adjectives apply to you as a person and you as a business, then when those 2 things match up, it is like magic. It's like when you find that perfect brand. So once we know who we are and we know who our company is and what they do, then we need to say, well, who are we sharing this with? First thing is, when we're sharing this, we're not for everyone. We don't want to be for everyone. That is how we get in trouble in marketing. So what we need to do is say, who are we for? And then really hone in on that. It might seem like we're limiting ourselves, but we're really not. We are actually giving ourselves the best chance with our best clients. Now, will we find every single client the same every single time? Meaning, will we find our ideal client every time we go out and look for them? No, probably not. We'll probably find a lot of people who aren't our ideal client. Does it mean we can never serve those ideal clients? No, we can absolutely serve the non-ideal clients. Will it be more work? Maybe. Will it give us a little bit of a disgruntled feeling because we're not doing our true passion? Maybe. But it does help us to actually figure out, I loved working with that person, but they weren't my ideal client, and it made it more difficult for me to perform the perfect service for them or my best offering for them. So what we want to do is use those opportunities to see where our ideal clients really lie. Even if we think they're over here in group A, they might actually be in group B. And maybe that'll actually also give us a chance to say, we had ruled out this group of people over here because we thought it might be too difficult, or we thought we might not be able to offer them what we really feel that we should. But in actuality, we actually can help them even better than we can group A or B. So there's a lot of things there that you can do. So when you're looking to really get that connected brand going, which is what I like to call branding, so creating that connected brand, we want to make sure we know who we are, what we do, who we're sharing it with, and even if we say right now, here's who I'm sharing it with, that may change over time, and that is perfectly fine. But we want to start with something. We want to start with a foundation that's solid that we can always look back to, so that if we get in trouble and we kind of go off path a little, go off script a little bit, we can come right back to that brand and say, who is our target market? Who are we really sharing this with? And then once we realize that, we can come back to that brand message and really drive that message home to the people we're speaking with. Because when you talk with people, they're not always going to be the ones that are going to be your clients, but they might know someone. And so that is why keeping on brand message is so, so important. So now that we know who we are, what we do, and who we're sharing it with, we can create that message that really resonates with that one group, that one person even. Because we like to make sure that when we're writing these messages, we're not just writing to a group of people. We're writing to Sally or Jim or Pam or whoever. We're really writing to that one person so that they can really experience who we are, what we do, and say, that's for me. And when we write to one person, it's like we're having a conversation. And if you think about it right now, I'm in front of a video camera and a microphone, as you can hear. And I'm not talking to anyone. But do you feel like we're having a conversation? I know I'm talking a lot, but I want you to feel like we're having a conversation. And this really goes back to that branding, making sure that your message is clear and concise and giving it to that one person who needs to hear it. Everyone that listens to this message today will probably not want to go out and create their own brand. Maybe they already have a brand, but it really is going to resonate with the people who say, that's what I've been missing. That's what I needed. So this is for you. Another thing about branding is to create those colors and fonts and that visual that really draws that audience in. But if you don't know who your audience is, you're not going to know which colors or branded fonts to use, what your brand should look like, who it should be attracting. So once we know who it is, who we're actually serving, we can go ahead and create those colors, fonts, and that visual. And that visual is something like maybe choosing some stock photos or getting some brand photography done that really resonates with the client that we're trying to attract. For example, if you go to our website, getabsolutemarketing.com, you're going to see a lot of pictures of me, and I'm actually wearing a lot of green. So green is our branding color, and when I went to the photo shoot, I wore a green dress, and that is what became our signature color through our branding. And now every time I speak, if I'm on a call, if I'm on a video, if I'm doing a webinar, wearing green. I even have everything green in my life, pretty much. So if you look at what your branding is and you look at your colors, do you look good in that color? Is it going to resonate with your people? Sometimes when we choose colors, we think we like them. And then we say, well, that's my favorite color, or that's what I would like to see as a client. But in reality, our clients don't like that. And it might actually be turning them off to our brand. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're really building this brand for them and not for us. Once we actually look at that, we need to look at what the psychology of those colors is. Maybe it's that green means wealth and health and money and prosperity. But then maybe if I had chosen purple or something, which means royalty and luxury, that might not go so well with my brand for the people that I'm trying to attract. So really think about what those colors mean, and you can actually Google this under color psychology on Google, and it will help you to determine if your colors are the right ones to really give that meaning and feeling to your brand, because colors do have meaning and feeling. Even when we see them, we experience it, even if we're not paying attention. And then with the fonts, the same thing. You don't want to pick a font that is so overused and so overplayed that when people see it, they go, oh, they did it themselves, didn't they? We don't want that. We want this to look like you had a professional do it, even if you didn't. I still recommend professional help in this area because graphics and fonts can be very, very tricky unless you're a graphic designer. But you can do it yourself. Just make sure you stay away from those fonts that are overused. And if you're going to use a font that's very common, make sure that you're using one that is not in the same way that everyone else uses it. So for example, you might use Montserrat, which is a very common font, but there are different ways you can use it so that it doesn't look overused or overplayed, because it's also a very simple font, which I like. It gives you that simplistic feel that is very clean and clear and makes it feel like you're very just decisive in what you're doing and you're not over cluttering your logo. So that is branding, and it's taken us 10 minutes just to get through branding. But what I want to encourage you is that this is the foundation of everything you're doing with your business, your website, your marketing. Everything is going to be founded on this. So it's super important that you really get this really solid. So this is day number 1. I also like to write an ebook on this same day when we do this in a day with a client. And I like to make sure we do an ebook because it's like a great opt-in, whether we're doing a full ebook, a recipe book. Some of our guys that we've worked with have done like sauces. They make sauce. And so we've done recipe books for them. Other times we've made like checklists, we've made workbooks, whatever the client you or your own client, if you're looking at this for your own clients, whatever they're needing for that opt-in, whatever you think would be great for your client as an opt-in, that's what you should go for. And create that. You can do this really simply in Canva. They have a ton of templates. And just make sure that you're not using like the first template you see, because everyone does that. So scroll down through there a little bit, find the right one for you, and make yourself a little 2-3 page ebook or a 1-page download that someone can use that's going to be useful to them in their life, and also bring them back to you and go, that person gave me that checklist. I know that they know what they're doing. Or that person gave me that recipe book. This is great. I am going to come back to them every time I need a recipe for this sauce. So whatever that is, whatever that thing is that you're doing, look at that opt-in and build that on day one, because you already have fresh in your mind those colors, those fonts, that feeling of the brand. And this really does go hand in hand with that. Day 2 is the website. Now, a lot of people already have websites, so I'm not going to tell you how to build an entire website right now. But I will tell you how to do a usability test. So let me just... All right, this is a big thing. So a usability test is when you create an environment, I would say, that is going to be conducive for someone to look at your website, perform a task while you watch. Sounds a little creepy, right? But really, it's actually great. So the way we do this is you create a task that you want them to do. And this would be a task that any customer would do on your site, okay? So you're going to create a task that is sign up for my email list. Maybe that's something you want all of the people who visit your website to do. Maybe you're going to create a task that is download my ebook, right? Or my checklist. Maybe you'll create a task that is sign up for a book a call. Book a call with me. How would someone do that? Maybe it's just to buy a product. Maybe you have products on your website and you're not getting very good results with people buying them. Maybe you want someone to purchase a product from you. So here's how you do this. You do need to be with a person in person. Can't do it over Zoom or something like that. It's not as effective. So what we need to do is find a buddy, and you need to sit next to them. And you need to have a computer in front of you with your website pulled up, okay? And you're going to say to them, I want you to purchase this product. And you might give them a specific product. You might give them just a generic product. You might say just buy a product. They don't have to go all the way through with the sale, but you do want them to go all the way through the checkout process, almost to the end until they hit that actual place order, right? So we want to go through this whole process with them. And you don't tell them anything. You only tell them, I want you to buy a product. That's it. Or I want you to sign up for my email list. And that's it. And you let them go. And what you do is you are not allowed to nudge. You are not allowed to grunt. You are not allowed to, yeah, over there. You're not allowed to do anything. You literally have to sit on your hands and keep your mouth closed the whole time. No matter what they do, no matter what they say, you have to be quiet the whole time. But what you're doing is you are observing, because this, my gosh, my dog is here. This is going to be the really amazing part. It's okay, babe. It's okay. Shh. So this is going to be the amazing part, is that you have the ability to watch what they do now. You can look at the entire screen. You can watch their eyes go from side to side. You can really observe how your website is affecting them as a person. Now, this is fascinating, because when they are looking at your site, they're not looking at it and saying, this is beautiful, you're my friend, I love it. They're looking at it and going, how do I do this? How do I purchase this product? How do I get from A to B, etc., right? So what you want to do is watch them. Now, when they have trouble, you make a note. When they are saying, oh, is it on the left or the right? I don't know where I am. Oh, how do I go back? When they do all those things, you make a note. Now, one person isn't going to be enough. You might need to do this a couple of times, because different people are going to perceive things differently with different, levels of expertise with the computer and things like that. You might also want someone who's a little more advanced to actually do this via phone, like via mobile or something like that, maybe a tablet or a phone, to actually see how that functions as well. So that aside, once you've observed the entire thing, Ask them how they felt during the process. Did they feel frustrated? And you're going to be able to tell this without even asking them. But you can ask just to give them that courtesy and just kind of see what their answer might be when you really know how you saw them feeling when they were in the middle of it. But when you do this usability test, it really shows you all the holes. And trust me, there are holes. There are plenty of holes in your website. Even if you're the best web designer in the world, like myself, you are still going to find holes. And that's fine. And this is what this test is for. So once you find all the holes, you need to go back and you say, here in this spot, what would have been better in this spot? What would have made it easier for you to get from A to B here where you were frustrated? And get their feedback and do this with multiple people so that you can really get that information into your website. And the next person that comes in, the real clients, they won't have this trouble at all. All right, that's usability testing. So if you have a website already, that's a great way to kind of go over it and see where your holes in your website are. Let's talk about social media. I actually think that you should stop using social media for 1 week. That is my challenge to you. And see what your engagement does. And see how your analytics perform. If you just stopped doing social media, would people miss you? Would they notice that your posts were not being posted? And once you've had this like hiatus week, use that week to prep yourself to create a ton of content in one day. This is day 3 we're on now. And when we create 1 year of marketing content in 5 days, we do the brand on 1 day. We build and launch a website in 1 day, so from scratch. And then on day 3, we create the social media in a day. 12 months of social media in a day. For beginners, I don't recommend doing this. It's really difficult. It can be a little overwhelming. But for those of you who want to try this, first I want you to go off of social media for a week. And I want you to see how much social media affects you personally. When I went off social media for 3 months in 2019, I actually had like withdrawal symptoms. It was very awful, and it was just my business social media. I didn't even go off of it for personal reasons. I went off of it for business reasons, and I just went off for 3 months, and I wanted to see how my body reacted, and there was a physical reaction. It was kind of crazy. When I would think of something, oh, I should post this, I would reach for my phone, and I was like, but I don't have to because I'm off of social media right now. But my mind was so cluttered with, I've got to post this. Oh, what could I post right now? Oh, I have a few minutes. I could do this. And so my mind was so cluttered with this, I couldn't even think of anything else. I couldn't be creative with anything else. And it was so daunting. But going off for that time period, which I recommend a week for beginners, going off for any short time period, it allows your brain to kind of do a reset and go, I don't have to do that right now. I am okay. I don't have to force my brain to think of all these things that I should be doing, that everyone tells me I should be doing. So once you have this little hiatus, during that week, plan out. Instead of thinking, oh, I got to post this right now. Oh, I got to post something right this second. Plan out and actually think, what if I posted the same thing, same type of thing every Monday? What if I posted the same type of thing every Thursday? And give yourself a break by actually planning out some content. And then on the following week, choose one entire day and actually devote it to creating all that content that you should or could be doing in one day. You might get 3 months in a day. You might get 6 months in a day. You might get 12 months in a day. But whatever that content amount is, it'll be fine, because guess what? It's way more than you had previously. A lot of people don't schedule out their content. They find it too overwhelming. Their brains fritz out. But if you can make yourself sit there for an entire day and just pump out content, and in your brain go, this is the only thing I have to do today. Everything else can wait 24 hours, right? Everything else can wait 24 hours. Unless you're in a medical field where it's life and death and someone needs an operation, it can wait 24 hours. So devote one entire day to your social media, and I think you're going to find it really, really helpful. Day 4 is writing, creating, designing blog posts. 1 year of blog posts. I typically like to do 12. Sometimes we'll do 24 with a client, but I find that 24 is a lot. It's a bit much. So 12 is great. What if you could write a blog post in 10 minutes? I mean, who wouldn't want that? It's like 10 minutes and you're done. So what I did was I created like an opt-in, which we put into my membership for free. And it is called How to Create a Blog Post in 10 Minutes. And basically, you're writing simple structures, right? We're not writing research papers here. We're not creating, the big, booklets or anything like that. We're not writing books here. We are just writing simple structure blog posts on things we already know about. And we might research a little here or there, but very little bit. So we want to write about what we already know. And what I like to do is take my FAQs. Most people's FAQs are a great way to start blogging. You could take an FAQ that you've already written the answer to. I bet you could go on, especially if it's in your field, you could go on about that for like 10 minutes. What if you're a better speaker, sometimes people are, like myself, what if you just dictated it to your phone? And how did that sound? Maybe you dictate it to Siri. Maybe you dictate it into your computer. Maybe you use a program that takes a video and does a transcript of it. So anyway, however you're going to do that, you could do it by voice and have it dictated. You could write 3 paragraphs in 10 minutes and have an opening paragraph on the subject, your body, your meat of the subject in the middle, and have your 3rd paragraph be a closing paragraph. Doesn't this sound so simple, y'all? I mean, your minds are probably blown. When I first started doing this, I was like, why wasn't I doing this all this way before, like forever? But when I first started doing it, I realized that this was such a goldmine for me, just personally, time-wise. And I realized that doing these short, quick blog posts, doing these social media posts ahead of time, making sure my website was usable by others, and making sure my brand was connected, it just made so much of a difference in my business. So then the 5th pillar is email marketing. How many of you are actually doing email marketing? Show of hands. Anybody? Anybody doing email marketing? That's what I thought. This is one of the ones that gets left off. This is one of the ones that gets left to the wayside, pushed off. I don't know how to do that. I don't know where those things are. I don't know what program to use, whatnot. So I'm going to teach you how to do simple email marketing in a day, all right? Super, super easy. Do you have a blog? Well, we just wrote one, right? So you have a blog now. That blog gives you what's called an RSS feed. Secret, you can take that RSS feed, you can drop it into your email marketing program. Trust me, all of them do this. And you can actually have your blogs automatically sent out from your email for you. When your blog posts, that email goes out for you. Isn't that insane? So now you all not only have your blog posts that are up on your website giving you that great SEO, they're also going out as an email. And you only had to do it one time. You set this RSS thing up once, you're done. That's it. Automated. Done, babe. That's it. Isn't that great? So I really encourage you to do that. Guess what else? Little tidbit, bonus tip. If you have a podcast, your podcast also gives you RSS feed. So you can now take that podcast RSS feed, drop it into your email marketing system, and now emails are going out every time your podcast drops. Isn't that insane? I mean, the automation that they have available now is so crazy. So now that you know the 5 pillars of branding, I'm going to go over them one more time. Creating a connected brand, building your website in a day, or making it usable at least, right? Day 3 is to create 1 year of social media posts in a day, which 3 months, 6 months, you can do that in a day. That's even better. Like just whatever you can get in, let's get it in and schedule it. Don't forget about scheduling it. Now, day number 4 is about blogging. We want to make those short, quick blog posts. Maybe they're lists, maybe they're 3 paragraphs, things that we already know about. Maybe they're from our FAQs. Just get those in and get those scheduled so that they're running every single month. Day 5 is creating that email marketing list. And once you get those RSS feeds in there, you're done. You can always send more emails. It's always great to send more emails. Maybe there's an upcoming event or whatnot, but don't worry about it. You don't have to send an email every week that's written by yourself about current events. You can just automate those emails to get you started and get those emails pumping out there for you. So I hope this has been helpful to you. This is how I create 1 year of marketing content in 5 days. And I am so grateful for the opportunity to share this with you. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.